Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, I wanted to talk a little bit about what to do if you need to sell your house before you can buy a new one, and just how to go about the whole process of buying and selling at the same time, because I know that's a concern for a lot of buyers and sellers right now, especially with how crazy the market is. So I'm going to share some of my tips for what to do if you're in that situation, and let's just jump right on in. Okay, so one of the first things that you can do if you need to sell your house before you can buy a new one, or at least do them simultaneously, is just getting creative with your financing. I think more people in general can actually qualify for a mortgage on top of their existing one than you probably think. And I know that sounds scary, the thought of making two payments. I would feel the exact same way. But the thing is, the way that mortgage payments work when you buy and sell a house is that, say you bought a house today, which is February 19th, you wouldn't pay your first mortgage payment on your new house until April 1st. So there's about a month and a half that you have to buy a new house, close on it, move in, get all settled, list your house, sell it, and then be done with it before you even have to make a payment on your new house. So in that case, that actually gives you a decent amount of time to not only buy a new house, get moved into that, but also list your new house, sell it, and be completely done with it by the time your first mortgage payment on your new house is even due. And especially in this market, it's definitely not unrealistic to think that you could list and sell your house in a month or a month and a half, because things are going insanely quickly. And so that can be a really good option for you to not have to deal with the stress of having contingent offers and all of that, and just being able to buy, move in, and then sell all in one streamlined process. Another potential option for you could actually be borrowing money from your 401k. And I know that also sounds a little bit scary, but it's a pretty common solution to this type of situation. And when you structure it this way, you generally don't have to pay a tax penalty on taking the money out of your 401k. So you could use that to put down money on a new house while still living in your current one. And then once you've sold your current house, you would just repay the money that you borrowed from your 401k out of the proceeds that you got from selling your house. So of course, when I talk about things like this, I always like to just throw out a disclaimer and say that I am not a mortgage professional, I'm not a lender. So of course, all of these things might vary. This is just based on my experience. And if you have any more specific questions on it, I would definitely recommend talking to a lender. And if you have questions on that and you're in the Vegas area, I can help direct you on that front. But this is just kind of a good baseline and might serve as a potential option to you. So moving on, option 2 is how we would structure post-possession in the purchase agreement between you and the buyers of your new home. And what this means is that buyers and sellers can negotiate terms into their agreement, which would basically allow you as the sellers to stay in the house for a certain period of time, even after the new buyers have closed on it. And this is usually paid back as rent in the form of a per day fee, but this can be a really good way to cover any gaps if you're in limbo between moving into a new house or maybe going under contract on a new house. And yes, in some situations, this can weed out some buyers, but honestly, with how competitive the market is right now, buyers are, from what I've seen, more than willing to accept terms like this just to be able to get into the house that they want. So this is definitely something that we could look into, and is something that we could probably negotiate with your buyers if you need to stay in the house just for a little bit more time, even after closing. And option 3 is just a short-term living arrangement. I've seen sellers stay with family and friends for a little bit of time, or even just get an Airbnb for a few days or weeks if they're waiting to be able to move into their new house. And I know that this isn't exactly the most ideal situation, but it can be a big help in just figuring out the limbo between selling your old house and buying your new one. And it might be a little bit of a sacrifice, but it can have some really great long-term gains. So if all else fails, this is definitely an option to consider. So ultimately, I hope this helps relieve some of the stress around buying a new house while selling your own. I know it can seem overwhelming and complicated, but I promise with a good realtor behind you and a good team behind you, we can definitely figure out a way to make it happen. And there are definitely options out there that can just help ease the whole process and make it as painless as possible. And if you are in the Vegas area and have any questions about buying or selling or even renting, I would love to help you out. And if you have questions about any of this in general, feel free to send me an email or connect with me on social media, and I'd be more than happy to answer your questions. But in the meantime, I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.